Hey everybody, welcome back to where we do deep dives, line by line, and bite-sized little chunks of the Bible to try to figure out if there's any spiritual nuggets, what sort of truths we might be able to find. And we do so from a very objective sort of standpoint, reading it as a layperson to try to discover things that may help us on our own spiritual path and journey. Previously, Jacob continues this inbreeding. There's Jacob, son of Isaac, Isaac, son of Abraham. Jacob is the father of Israel, and even is in fact Israel. So it's interesting that in the previous videos there's just a ton of inbreeding. Marries his cousins, his mom's brother's daughter, his first cousins. And then as we continue in Genesis chapter 29, verse 20, Jacob serves his uncle. He agrees to serve his uncle for 7 years because he wants to have his uncle's daughter, Rachel. He's in love with Rachel now. And so in order to have Rachel, he made a deal with his uncle to basically be an indentured servant to him for 7 years. So in chapter 29, verse 21, the time is up. He served his 7 years, and he's telling his uncle, "Hey man, I'm ready for your daughter now." And in quotes, he goes, "I want you to give her to me because," quote, "I need to go into her." So apparently this is really important to Jacob to go into his cousin. And then Laban, he's like, "All right, sure, I'm honoring this agreement." And so he throws this big party, and he gets Jacob drunk. And so Jacob's drunk, and during his drunken stupor, the uncle who made this deal to give up his daughter, his firstborn, he tells his other daughter, the younger daughter, "Hey, I want you to go in there and screw Jacob. And for doing that, I'm going to give you a slave, a handmaiden." It's like, this is wild, right? This is wild stuff. So as a reward for whoring your daughter out, and that's all fine, and no mention of disgust by Jehovah at all, and go ahead and give your daughter a slave for whoring her out. And the slave's name was Zilpah, if that's how you pronounce it. And then it continues on in verse 25 of chapter 29. Jacob wakes up and he's pissed off. He's like, "Oh man, what have you done to me, uncle?" All this kind of drama sort of thing. I guess he's feeling bad, after his blurred sexual encounter with his other cousin, which was not his intention. So after being pissed off, the uncle says, "Hey, in our place, it's customary to give the the other daughter as well." It seems like in 7 years you'd have had this conversation, but no. But the uncle tells him, says, "Look, Jacob, take your other first cousin here, take her for a week and see how you like her." And so Jacob just, sure, takes her for a week, screws her for a week, and says, "Okay, well, I like her. I'll work for you now for another 7 years for her too." He gets to have both of them. So I don't know if these are questions or comments, because typically I question the Bible here. But so Jacob serves another 7 years, and he's tricked. It's okay to trick not only your blood, but just to trick anybody. That's totally fine. And to pay off your daughter for being a whore, or forcing her to be a whore. Maybe you had to force her, maybe not. It doesn't say. It just says, she goes in there and Jacob goes into her. And for that, the dad gives her a slave, a handmaiden. So it's okay to break oaths. It's okay to twist everything around. There's no punishment by Jehovah. None of that. And then this is, if most people, if you have kids, you might not want them hear this question or comment. If you're drunk, as any man, you cannot be so drunk that you don't know you're having sex, because your thing won't work. Like, this is not something that's unknown to anybody. It's very unlikely that it would not work. Your procreation tool would not function properly. So he knew what he was doing. He woke up feeling guilty or bad about it for some reason, because apparently that's all just fine and dandy in this world of sexual escapades with no repercussions from Jehovah. He knew what he was doing, and then he pretended like, "Oh, why'd you trick me?" Seems strange. What kind of world are they living in? The rules are much different. But also in Genesis, these rules are supposed to be through all the age, for forever, if you will, or through the procession of the equinox. It's just very strange. So I don't know if you can take anything out of that or not. That left me, this part of it, in total confusion of what any sort of nugget of wisdom or virtue or being a good person. I didn't find it. But if you did, I'd like your comments, because I really would like some input on where is the moral imperative in this particular section of the Bible. If y'all like other topics outside of these texts, all texts, whether it's the New, Old Testament, whether it's any of the Vedas, the Quran, the Egyptian Book of the Dead, or like any of them, Theophacy, Rosicrucians, all of the text, we really strive to find and go deep inside of ourselves to know ourselves here at this sanctuary, at this place where we meditate and we worship in our individual ways, because you can't read into the minds and hearts of everybody, and no matter what congregation, no matter what religion, everybody still processes and does everything on the inside. So we want to know ourselves better. We want to be able to build strong relationships. So we want to strengthen the mental and emotional and spiritual divides amongst people the best we can. And we do that every Sunday at 1:15, and we talk about topics that help us do those things, that help us enhance the quality of our life and meditate together in such a fantastic way. We just try to do the best we can. And if you like that, and if you want to check us out, go to our other channel, mysticsoftexas.com. It's Mystics of Texas. It's our YouTube channel, and then our website, mysticsoftexas.com. Thanks for joining, and let's just jump on back in the next video into this wild multi-woman scenario of the father of Israel. Wow.